Hello, viewers. Today is July 23rd, 2024. I'm here to continue my discussion on the US presidential election. First, I would like to go over the headline news, and then I will talk about the de facto nominee Kamala Harris and what are her challenges, opportunities, and what are her action items, given the fact that she has become the de facto nominee. So, first, let's go to the headline news. Kamala Harris had her first campaign rally as a de facto nominee of the party in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And obviously, it was very well received by the crowd. And we saw a very energized and revitalized Democratic base in Milwaukee. As I mentioned before, these are the places that Democrats need to win big. They had to win Milwaukee County and Dane County by a huge margin in Wisconsin so that they will have a chance to win the statewide election there. So obviously, it was a very good start. The other item on the news is the Harris for President campaign has raised over $100 million in the last 36 hours or so, and that's also a very good sign. And also, they came back with a metric stating that 62% of them are new donors. And that is also a very good news that shows that a lot of new people are getting in and they're trying to contribute towards the Harris for President campaign. So that's all very good. So now that she has become the de facto nominee with over 1,986 delegates that she needs to become the nominee, what should she do next? So the first and foremost thing that she needed to do was to basically make sure that she builds that campaign apparatus and make sure that they're all working, they are all on the same page. And she has inherited the campaign from the Biden campaign, but still she has her own staff as well who are going to potentially go in. So they need to work in tandem, and she needs to make sure that it is a well-oiled machine. So that's number one task. And I think things are going in the right direction in that particular task. Then the next one is obviously the most important one is the vetting process for the VP, and she needs to select a vice presidential candidate on her ticket. And from my perspective, I discussed 4 or 5 choices yesterday on this program, but I'm going to go out on a limb to say that Josh Shapiro is going to be the pick for the vice presidential candidate pick. And the reason for that are several, but the first and foremost is she happens to have a good working relationship with Josh Shapiro. They know each other, and I think that chemistry is very important when you are going to make a decision like this on a national scale. So I think that's one major reason. The other reason is Josh Shapiro has won statewide in the state of Pennsylvania, and so he's exposed to the Philadelphia media market. That means there is a spillover effect in the New York, New Jersey media market. So that gives him that exposure. And the third one is, as I mentioned yesterday, definitely he's going to make sure that the Democrats will win Pennsylvania. So I think that's another thing that's a big plus from Josh Shapiro's vice presidential pick perspective. So with that said, I'm going to say that he's going to be the VP pick. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and say that I was wrong. But I do think that he's going to be the VP pick. So now let's look at some of the challenges that she might face. Some of the challenges that she might face might be her own past statements. So take, for example, during the 2020 presidential election primary, she was going up against several Democratic candidates, including Joe Biden. At that point of time, when Joe Biden made a point to say that he has worked with both Republicans and Democrats, he mentioned that he has also worked with segregationists to pass bills. And so this was not taken very lightly by Kamala Harris, and she came back and said that I was one of the students that was buzzed during that time, implying that because of the segregated schools, she has to take a separate bus to school. So at that time, it was not seen as a big thing. And also during the actual 2020 election cycle, this comment was not used by the opponents or by the political action committees and whatnot. But now it looks like the Republicans want to pick on that and use that against her to say that she questioned Biden on race relations and whatnot. So I think that is something that they need to she needs to basically come up with some kind of an explanation for that. And then the second thing I think is somehow the Republican Party might come and say that this is not a democratic process. Joe Biden withdraws, and then this becomes some kind of an anointment. There is no democratic process within the party to choose the nominee and whatnot. So I hope that DNC has some good explanation on their process and their bylaws and their rules. So the rules committee of the DNC might be able to answer that better. But still, it's going to be some kind of a challenge to explain that this was not an anointment. This was actually well-earned nomination. So, so the third challenge that some people ask me is like, is the nation ready for a woman president, and then that too a first woman black president, or you can call it as woman Asian black president. So she has got a multi-religious background, so and so on and so forth. So I think it's a very difficult question to answer at this point. I personally feel that country has moved a lot from the 2016 bitter campaign, and I think people are more inclined to vote for women these days. So, but it all depends on how this campaign goes along in terms of the points and the counterpoints and the kind of negative campaign or positive campaign, whatever the case may be. How are they going to frame these issues in the actual election cycle? So we will wait and watch. But from my perspective, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. In terms of opportunities for Kamala Harris, I personally feel that with her as the nominee, they really bring the Midwest states into play big time. So I think Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are looking a lot better today than what it was 48 years ago, 48 hours ago. So, so I think that's a great opportunity for her, and she can possibly build on to other states like Georgia. She might be able to do well there, and she can also possibly make sure that New Hampshire stays with the Democrats. So, from an electoral college vote tally perspective, I think there are very good opportunities for Kamala Harris, and also I think the enthusiasm gap. Since I mentioned the enthusiasm gap has come down, she can definitely go and campaign in not just in big cities, just like Barack Obama did in 2008. She can also expand um, her boundaries in terms of where all she could go. She could potentially go to some of the rural counties and talk to them. And even Josh Shapiro can do that. So when you have the confidence that you're going to win Midwest, then you can go and reach out to the other voters that you normally will not get. So that's an opportunity for her. I don't know how the campaign is going to allocate the resources and her time, which is going to be very important. They might say we are going to go all the way to Midwest, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and then we are going to make a huge play in North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. So they can go a big way in all those states, but they can also go and see if there are any pockets of rural areas of Pennsylvania that they can go and get additional votes, or rural areas of Michigan to get additional votes, which is what, by the way, Barack Obama did very well. He didn't win those counties, but he just picked up more votes than other Democratic candidates. So that is a recipe for victory. So I think from an opportunity perspective, if you win Midwest, you have a lot more opportunities to expand your electoral college vote count. So I think in that way, she has a very good opportunity. And let's see how this pans out in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then the convention. And then after the convention, where are they going to allocate the resources and whatnot? So that's pretty much from me today. You guys stay tuned, and I'll come back with another episode tomorrow. Thank you.